Good morning and welcome to Beat the Number, the sports betting top picks and plays for the NBA morning edition. My name is Abby. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to look into beating the number for the over-unders, the totals, and the point spreads. Try and get the best number possible so we can get ahead of the market. First game we're going to look at is Cleveland at Detroit. Cleveland opened up as a 6.5 point favorite, total 237. Right now we're looking at 4.5, mainly fives out there on the board, but 4.5s are showing, and it's 235.5. That's where it's at right now. We are going to go through the injury report for this game, starting with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Cleveland, their injury report, they have Isaac Okoro, shoulder questionable. Dean Wade, knee is out. The Detroit Pistons, we have Jaden Ivey out indefinitely. So Cleveland, they coming off a loss last night against Boston, so they're on a back-to-back. Lost a marquee game to the Celtics yesterday. Yeah, they lost a marquee game to the Celtics, and now they gotta play. Now they're playing Detroit. They got the Pistons. So the Detroit's dominated Cleveland. They've beaten them twice. They beat them October 25th in Cleveland. Cleveland was a 10.5 point favorite. The total was 224. Cavs won 113-101. Went under the total 224, and they covered the 10.5. Second game was the exact same thing. Like last week, they played 10.5 point spread. The total was 235. Cleveland covered it and won 110-91. Covered also as a 10-point favorite. Now they're a 4.5 point favorite in Detroit. Cavaliers have won overall their last 5 games. They won, 4 straight games. They've won 4 straight. They beat Miami at home, covered, and they covered 3 on. They beat Miami on the road in Miami, covered the 6-point spread. They covered the last 3 games at home against Detroit 10.5. Atlanta -11, and then they covered Dallas. They lost to the Celtics. Lost to the Celtics yesterday. So they're 4-1 the last 5 games, and they are 4-1 the last 5 games to the over. Pistons 4-6 last 10, 4-6 against the spread, 5-5 to the over. 5-5 over under even. 2-3 last 5 games, and are 3-2 to the over. And the Pistons are an underdog here. Yes, I got to take Cleveland. Cleveland's the spot. There's no look-ahead spot for Cleveland in this game at all. So I believe they come back, turn it around, and win in Detroit. They get a win in Detroit, they'll cover the 4.5. I like that spot for Cleveland. I like that play. Bounce back spot. No play on the total. I just like Cleveland -4.5. That's my play there. Next game we're going to look at Milwaukee at Charlotte. Milwaukee -8.5, total 216. Right now we're seeing 9s on the board, it's gone up to 9. And it is at 219.5. That's what we're seeing right now, 218, 219.5. So look at the injury reports on the Charlotte side. Cody Martin ruled out for this game. Vasiljevic Misic, ankle questionable. Josh Okogie, hamstring out. LaMelo Ball out indefinitely with a leg injury. Brandon Miller, wrist injury, out for the season. Trey Mann back out indefinitely. Grant Williams out for the season. On the Milwaukee side for the Bucks, Chris Middleton. Let's see what's going on with him. Chris Middleton, let's look at that one. Let's see. Trying to get an update on Middleton. Just hold on. Bear with me for a second, folks. Oh, hold on 1 minute. I do apologize for this. Chris Middleton. He's available Wednesday to play at Charlotte, so he is going to play. He will play Wednesday at Charlotte. Bobby Portis is back to play at Charlotte. He was out for personal reasons. Brook Lopez is back in the lineup, available to play. Damian Lillard, questionable to play Wednesday at Charlotte. I think he's going to play. And Giannis Nee, questionable to play. I think one of them play. Lillard or Giannis, or I think both will play. But yeah, I know Milwaukee, they've lost a bunch of games. We'll go into this in greater detail. Bucks in a major tailspin with all the trade rumors going around that team. I still like them to cover the -8.5, -9. I like them here, but we're going to go into more detail. Look at the last 5. So they already played twice. Charlotte, first game, Charlotte was a 4-point underdog at home. The total was 220. This is early in the season. And Charlotte won 115 to 114. It was over 220. Second game was in Milwaukee, November 23rd. Milwaukee was an 8-point underdog, and Milwaukee covered 125-119. Charlotte covered, but Milwaukee won 125 to 119. But Charlotte covered, and it went over to 224. I know Milwaukee's played them tough twice. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. So, like I said, Milwaukee's lost 4 straight games. They're 1-4 last 5 games. They are 3-2 to the over. Charlotte 3-7 last 10, 5-4 and 1 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. Charlotte's lost 5 games in a row, and they are 2-3 last 5 games. Let's see. Yeah, I like Milwaukee in this spot, especially with guys coming back from the injured list. I know it's the trade deadline; a lot of things are happening. But I like Milwaukee here. This is a get-right spot. I believe Milwaukee wins this game. They get right and they win. I know Charlotte's covered them twice. They've covered them 2 times. But lately, the way Charlotte's playing as an underdog, they're not looking too good in my opinion. So I believe Milwaukee gets right. It's a get-right spot for Milwaukee, and they cover the 8.5, 9. I like them here. I like Milwaukee here to get back to who they are. So -8 for me. If you get at 9, take it there. I like Milwaukee. Next game, Miami, Philadelphia. Totals 216. Miami -1. Right now it's at 1.5. Both teams played last night. I don't know if I have a play on this game. Let me look and see. Let's look at the injury report first. Miami, Jimmy Butler, as you know, is out. Josh Richardson, Heald's out. Drew Smith out for the season. Philadelphia, Joel Embiid. He played last night. He had a triple-double last night. We'll see if he plays on a back-to-back. We're not sure. Quentin Grimes. It's showing here. Let's see if he's going to play tomorrow or later on today. He's questionable to play. against Miami. Caleb Martin, questionable with a growing injury for Wednesday's game. Kyle Lowry, hip, questionable to play. Eric Gordon, questionable to play Wednesday as well with the knee. Paul George, questionable. Andre Drummond or Jared McCain out indefinitely. Yeah, so this game, I'm not going to waste too much time on it because of the trading deadline, and plus both teams played last night. So this game's going to a definite pass. I'm not going to play this game. Yeah, definitely a pass here. Nothing on this game. Next game, San Antonio, Atlanta. San Antonio -4. Right now, it's going up to 5.5, and the total is at open up 240. Right now, we're seeing 241.5. Remaining seeing that. So look at the injury report here on the Atlanta side for the Hawks. Bojan Bogdanovic. He's out for personal reasons. So let's see here. I see he won't be playing in this game. He's out. Clint Capella is ruled out Wednesday versus San Antonio. Jalen Johnson is out. San Antonio. Let's look at the Spurs. Jordan McLaughlin is traded. He was traded to Atlanta. He was traded to San Antonio, excuse me. And don't think he's going to be playing. He won't be playing in this game. Sorry. My apologies. Jordan McLaughlin got traded, I believe, a few days ago to San Antonio. And he's going to be playing. Jordan McLaughlin will play. The point guard will play the Wednesday at Atlanta. DeAndre Fox will be playing Wednesday. We're making his debut for San Antonio. McLaughlin making his debut for San Antonio. Chris Paul, questionable to play with a finger injury against Atlanta. Yeah, I might play in this game. I like the Hawks here. Now they did play in the first meeting. Let's look at this game carefully here. Yeah, they did play in this first meeting. This is before the trade, obviously. So it was in December. Late December they played in San Antonio. Spurs were a 1.5 point favorite. Total 233.5. San Antonio won in overtime at home. 133-126. It went over the 233. This one's gone up by about 8 points, the spread. 8 points the total. The over-under's gone up by 8 points. San Antonio, last 10 games, 3-7, 4-6 against the spread. Last 10, 8-2 to the over. Spurs 1-4 last 5, and are 3-2 to the over. Atlanta 2-8 last 10, 5-5 against the spread. 4-6 to the under. Atlanta coming off a 3-game road trip. They are 1-4 last 5 games and are 3-2 to the over. Normally I like to fade teams that are coming off a road trip. But in this case I like the Hawks because they've covered 4 of the last 5 games as an underdog. And in my opinion, San Antonio, they're in an unusual position to be favored on the road. They haven't been favored on the road all season, in my opinion. So, with all that being said, I have to go with San Antonio at the 5.5. I like him in this position, in this spot, to cover the number and stay close with San Antonio. I know a lot of people will be on the Spurs because of DeAndre Fox making his debut. They think automatic win, easy cover. I look at it the other way because they have to get used to playing with each other, like Fox, Wemby, Chris Paul. They have to get used to playing with each other. So I don't want to. That's another reason why I took Atlanta plus 5.5. I like the Hawks here. They're a nice home dog. I like them in this spot. Broken Washington, I have nothing on this game. This is a pass. Nothing here. 2 crappy teams. Someone might be dealt before the deadline. I have nothing there, no play there, not even a prop. Memphis Toronto, I have a play here, 6.5. Memphis total 243.5. Right now it's gone to 8.5 mainly. So we're seeing some nines. Well, we're gonna see some nines pretty soon. But it is mainly we see a 9 right now. Bovada has a 9. So the 9s are already popping up. See, if you like, I already took Memphis myself. I took him at minus 6.5 earlier. I took him at minus 7 early on. But I would still take Memphis at 8.5. I would still take them. But I wouldn't go past 8.5 or 9. If it's 8.5 or you get them at 9, that's it. I wouldn't go past. I wouldn't take him to 9.5 or 10. Just get him up to 8.5 to 9, and that's it. But I like Memphis in this game. Memphis is the obvious spot. The Raptors played at home. They have a back-to-back home games. Played the Knicks They played the Knicks last night. They got Memphis tonight on a back-to-back at home. Memphis is well rested. They had a day or two of rest. This is the ideal spot for Memphis to cover and win and cover the spread and win out. So I like Memphis here a lot. But let me look at the injury report first. Let's look at that. I've got to look into that. Jonathan Conchar, shoulder, questionable. Vince Williams, foot is questionable. Marcus Smart, questionable with the finger. Brandon Clark, questionable. Desmond Bane, out. Jared Jackson, out. I believe some of those guys that are questionable are going to play, so I'm not too concerned about that. On the Toronto side, RJ Barrett, questionable with a concussion. I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow. We'll see. Jacob Poeltl, questionable with a hip injury. I still like Memphis. Memphis 8.5, 9. I take them. Next game here, Chicago at Minnesota. Total 225.5. Minnesota at minus 10.5. Right now we're looking at 11s coming up on the board. Minus 11 on Minnesota. And it is at 226.5. So look at the injury report for the Chicago side, for the Bulls. Chicago. So Trey Jones ruled out. He's not going to be making his debut. He was acquired in a trade. Kevin Huerter ruled out. He's not going to be playing either. He's out. Zach Collins ruled out Wednesday as well at Minnesota. Talen Horton-Tucker, questionable to play Wednesday. Torrey Craig out. On the Minnesota side, Julius Randle, groin ruled out. Dante DiVincenzo, toe is ruled out. Yeah, I do like here. I like Minnesota here in a bounce back spot. We'll look into this further. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I like Minnesota here. Minnesota, they've already beaten Chicago already. They won in Chicago early November as a 9.5 point favorite. They covered and won 113 to 119, and it went over 227. I like Minnesota, and let's look at overall before I jump to conclusions. Chicago, they're 2-3 last 5 games and are 2-3 to the under. The Bulls lost to Miami. Actually, they beat Miami. Chicago beat Miami. Came back and beat Miami. So they've been flip-flopping wins and losses on this road trip. So this is the final game of the road trip for Chicago. They're on a back-to-back. Minnesota, they are 6-4 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Minnesota's lost 2 games in a row. They're 3-2, and are 3-2 to the over. Yeah, so the way I got to look at it, I got to take Minnesota here. Chicago coming off a back-to-back. Minnesota rested, didn't play yesterday, so I like Minnesota here minus 10.5 to 11. I like this number, so definitely grab Minnesota. I like the point. I like them here very much. The total, I don't play on the total, just a pass. OKC Phoenix. This one opened up minus 11, total 225. Right now we're looking at 227. I just saw 227. And it's up to minus 12. That's OKC. So look into this game further. I know they played a few times already. OKC has dominated this series. They've dominated this game. Yeah, they played once already this season in OKC. OKC 7.5 point favorite at home. 199.83 covered and went under 228. This game is in OKC, but it's gone up. Spread's gone up by about 5 points. It's 11.5-12, like we mentioned. Phoenix, they're on the 3-game road trip. This is their 4th and final game on the road trip. They've lost 2 straight games to Portland, back to back. 3-0 to the over on this road trip. 5-0 to the over. Actually, sorry, 4-0. Yeah, 4-1 to the over, and 1-2-3 last 5 games. Oklahoma City 7-3 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 7-2-1 to the over. OKC 3-2 last 5 games, and 3-1-1 to the over. Yeah, so let's see here. I like OKC in this game. I like OKC to cover the points. It's minus 12. I think OKC wins this one here. I don't think Phoenix is not focused. They've lost focus. So I do like OKC here to cover the spread. Minus 12, I like OKC. I think they get it done here. I think they cover the spread. Phoenix is a hot mess. They haven't looked good. I know it's the trading deadline. Some guys are rumored to be dealt. So they've lost focus, don't focus. And I think that's going to continue into this game. With the trading deadline looming, some players on Phoenix, like I said, might be dealt. They're lacking focus, and I think OKC takes advantage. And they covered the spread minus 11.5, minus 12. Lay the points of OKC. I like them here. Let me check the injury report first, but I like Phoenix anyhow. But let's check the report. Durant unlikely to play with an ankle. Well, we know he's rumored to be traded, so we'll see what happens there. OKC. Cason Wallace, shoulder ruled out. Jalen Williams, wrist questionable. Alex Caruso, questionable with the ankle. Chet Holmgren out indefinitely. So that's the injury report there. You know where I stand on that game. Next game, Golden State, Utah. Minus 6, Golden State. 6.5, Golden State. Total 231.5. Now we're looking at now 6.5. It's come down to 6. We're even seeing 5.5 in this game. So it's come back down. Totals though is 229. We're seeing 229s on the board. So let's take a look at the injury report here. Golden State. Moses Moody, back is questionable. Jonathan Kuminga out for Golden State. On the Utah side, Laurie McAmon, questionable to play Wednesday versus Golden State. Colin Sexton's out indefinitely with an ankle injury. Cody Williams is out. Let's see this one here. I have a play on this game as well, but I'll hold that for a minute. Golden State, Utah. So they played twice already. First game meeting was in Utah. And Golden State, this is when they were healthy. Golden State won 127-86 at the beginning of the season. They were 6.5 point favorites and covered, and it was under 234.5. Second meeting was in Golden State about a week ago. And the total, and it was here, Golden State minus 10.5. Total was 221.5. And Golden State won and covered 114-103. And it was under the total. Now we're looking at Golden State now. 3-2 last 5, and are 3-2 to the over last 5 games. Utah 1-9 last 10 games, 5-5 against the spread, 5-5 to the over under. Utah 1-4 last 5 games, and are 1-4 to the under. Yeah, I like Utah here because this is a look-ahead spot for Golden State. They've already beaten up Utah twice, and they've covered twice against these guys. So this is definitely a look-ahead game for Golden State. They have the Lakers the following day in LA. So they're on a 4-game road trip. This is the first of a 4-game road trip. So to me, this is definitely a look-ahead spot. No doubt about it. Remember, they even lost to these guys too. They lost to the Lakers. So so they're focusing more on that game, in my opinion. So I like Utah here. Utah's a very live home dog. They've covered 2 straight home games. Against Orlando +4, they covered in 1, beat Orlando. And they covered against Indiana +6.5, and they almost beat the Pacers. They lost by a point, but they came close. And both games they went under the total. The only way I'm not going to touch the total. I'm just going to play Utah here. I like Utah +6.5. I think they cover again. I think they cover the spread again. I like Utah here. And this is the final game of the homestand, so I think Utah puts up a fight in the homestand before they go on a 3 to 4 game road trip. So I definitely like Utah here, +6.5. Now it is, I think I mentioned it, I saw it going down to 5.5. Yeah, so if you can, try and get the 6.5 or +6 before it gets to 5.5. Try and grab that as quickly as you can. Denver Pelicans, I have no play on this game at all. This game's a complete pass. But I will give you the injury report for both teams, starting with the New Orleans side. Daniel Thesis, thumb questionable. DeJounte Murray, Achilles is out. Herb Jones, shoulder injury, is out. Brandon Ingram out indefinitely. So some guys might be dealt from there before the Thursday deadlines. That's another reason why I'm not playing it, but I'm just letting you know the injury report. Denver, Aaron Gordon. For those who are interested, his status is, let's see here. Let's get the Aaron Gordon status. He should be playing in this game. He played the last game. Let's see. I think he's going to play. He's questionable to play Wednesday, but I believe he's going to play. I don't see him being dealt to the deadline. He's going to play. He played last game. He'll play. I believe he's going to play. Russell Westbrook, hamstring out. Peyton Watson out, knee injury, and Vicalco Kankar is out. So like I said, I have nothing on this game. This game's a complete pass. Last game on the board, Orlando, Sacramento. Sacramento -5, total 217. Right now is at, 5.5 Sacramento. And right now we're looking at 5s. We're seeing it's coming down to 4.5. Look at the injury report here. First for Orlando. Jalen Suggs, knee, unlikely to play. Moritz Wagner is out with an ACL. On the Sacramento side, for the Sacramento Kings, Zach LaVine, questionable to play Wednesday. So he may be playing. We'll see. It's 50-50. This game here, Orlando and Sacramento. This is the last game we're going to be doing for the night. This is the first meeting between these two teams. So Orlando last 10 games 1-9, 1-9 last 10 games, 1-9 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. So Orlando, they're on a 6-game road trip. They're 0-4 on the road trip. Sacramento next, and they are 2-3 to the under. So struggling to score points to Orlando. And now they're playing Sacramento. Yeah. The Kings themselves, they are 5-5 last 5 games, 3-6-1 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. They are 2-3 last 5 games and are 3-2 to the over. So this is Sacramento, first home game off of a 6-game road trip. So they're kind of in a weird spot. They're back at home, and then they got to go back on the road in Portland. Oh man. The only thing I can think of here, Orlando's been struggling to score. The last 3 games, they haven't scored over 100 points. I gotta look at Orlando under team total. That's probably the best thing to look at, under the Orlando team total. So if you can get, it hasn't come out as yet, but if you can get it at 101, 102 points, anywhere around that area, bet under Orlando team total. If it's 102 and a half, 103, around that range. If it's 100 or 101, I wouldn't touch it. Only if it's at 102 and a half, 103, bet the Orlando team total under. Last 3 games, they have not hit 100 points. They're in the mid to late 90s. Haven't hit 100 points. So that's my play for that game. By tomorrow, when I do my other video for the player props, we're going to throw in some team totals, and I'll give it to you then what it is. But if it's around, like I said, 103, 102, team total under. If it's around that, or even if it's higher, around there or higher, team total under Orlando. All right, so that's it for the show. My name is Abby. Thank you for joining me. Whether you fade or follow these picks, it's up to you. I just look at the games how I see them, how I feel that they're gonna go, and what I like and what I believe. So I hope you cash your tickets either way. You fade or follow. I hope you cash your tickets. Good luck to you guys. Stay blessed, stay humble, believe in yourself. Good luck, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and hit the like button so you can provide more of these top plays and picks for the point spreads and the over-unders, the totals. All right, take care, and we'll see you later on today.